before you click the like or dislike button, listen to the rules, okay? Listen to the rules. Yes, or like, thumbs up means Musashi is a strategic killer. Thumbs down means no, I think he's a master swordsman. Okay, so now it puts a new one on it. We're not talking about overrated as not good. So listen again. Thumbs up, yes, I think Musashi is a strategic killer. Thumbs down, no, I think he's a master swordsman. And I'm going to explain what I mean now. Okay, if you like swordsmanship and you like samurai, you need to get the Lost Samurai School, The Secrets of Musashi. Tons and tons of martial arts and weapons and ninjutsu and all sorts in there. So get yourself a copy of that. So today we're going to ask a question. Is Musashi an expert swordsman or a strategic expert killer? Which one is he? Now, this popped up by a guy called Chris Raspberry, who's one of the students in my school, and he always says he thinks Musashi is overrated as a swordsman, and he said he thinks he gets a lot of kickback on this, and he's had this conversation lots of times, and basically everybody gets annoyed with him. And I watched it personally, somebody get annoyed with him. So basically, I'm going to rephrase his question so that you guys can make the decision. What do you think? Now, Chris's point is that whenever we hear about Musashi, it's a case of there was a master swordsman with a long sword. So what he did, he's just made a longer oar and smashed him over the noggin with it and killed him. When he was a kid, he ran up out of nowhere and smashed someone to death with a stick. He waited for hours until somebody was bored and then killed them with a sword. He arrived early before people were expected and killed them then. Fell out of a tree and killed them. Angered people. Made people feel off target, off kilter and everything. Surprised people. That is the skill of a strategic killer and not someone displaying their swordsmanship skills in a fair one-on-one fight. So what Chris is saying is he's saying we may overrate Musashi as a swordsman, meaning the people he actually met in battle, he may not have beat. He may not be able to beat. But because he used psychology, strategy before the combat and entered into the combat, he ended up killing them. So what Chris is saying is maybe we remember Musashi for being this wizard swordsman, but actually we should remember him as an echo of the Sengoku period, which was strategic killing. Okay, now let me be clear. No one is saying Musashi is a bad swordsman. Let's get that right. Musashi is clearly an expert swordsman. Everybody agrees that. Nobody disagrees with that. Chris Raspberry included, and he's a Natori student. But he's saying maybe there were swordsmen out there that were better than Musashi. The people he fought were better than Musashi, or some of them. But the fact that he used the older ways to try to get his opponent into the wrong position so that he could kill them with any weapon that he could get his hands on, be it sticks, rocks, oars, wooden bokkens, swords, he literally did it. So the difference is this, and Musashi, the clue is in Musashi's book, Gorin no Sho, yeah? He actually says in his book that he doesn't think swordsmen do things the way they used to do, and they're sort of flowery or they don't quite get it. They're just showmen. And he's saying in the old day, he's saying what they do is very flashy. Feet in this way, standing this way, leaping, doing all this. And it just doesn't make much sense. So what Chris is saying is that in Musashi's day, in the in the Sengoku period, people are used to killing people not in a direct, this is me, this is noble. There was lots of ambush attacks. We know from like the records in the Sengoku period, people used to do kill squads. They used to use any way, like the terrain to get somebody. Or if somebody come at you with a sword, you shot them with a gun or you shot them with a bow. We know from Japanese archaeology that the highest rate of wounds on the battlefield is from projectile weapons. And we know from early Edo period accounts about the warring periods that martial arts didn't really mean you won on a battlefield. A lot of it was to do with the strategy that was going on. And you had some some awesome warriors who were just killed because arrows were coming in. They were led into an ambush. You know, it doesn't matter how good you are. Once you're led into an ambush and you're way outnumbered, you're dying or you're dead and your head is gone. So what he's saying, what Chris is saying is Musashi has the echoes of that old time as a strategic killer. So if you think Musashi is more of a strategic killer, let's thumbs up. But he was saying when we went into the Edo period and people weren't ambushing and Confucianism took a much higher sort of position and honor, morality, and Bushido really and Zen really flourished into a new level in the dojo culture of early Edo period, then what you find is really expert swordsmen who have the chance to spar with people or fight with people using only their swordsmanship skills. So if you think, no, it isn't that Musashi rested on his strategy, it's that he was an expert swordsman, you can say, no, Anthony, I believe Musashi was an expert swordsman. Or you can say, yes, I believe Musashi actually more relied on strategy to kill. Thumb down, no, I think he was more of an expert swordsman. Nobody's saying he's not a good swordsman. He's obviously a good swordsman. He's one of the best in Japan, and he's fighting the best in Japan. And that's his point. He's going around fighting the best. But while those people are waiting for him, very politely and all this, or there are cases of ambush, as with the brothers, but on the whole, people turn up for their duels, ready to fight Musashi, and Musashi uses some way to get the upper edge before the fight starts. Almost like cheating. Now, Chris has said his example of this is imagine MMA today. So you turn up for your fight, you're in the cage, and you're like, how you get ya? Oh, me, fast is Lucky Charms. You know what I mean? You're like the Irish fighter look. And the other guy steps in the ring with a baseball bat and goes bang. And goes, I'm the best unarmed fighter in the world. And the Irishman's like, oh no, be Jesus. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the point. Musashi enters his fights with an advantage. That's what he seems to do. So he seems to focus on advantage on entering the fights. Now, to go against this, to go against Chris's theory, we actually don't know that much about Musashi's fights. Gorin Yosho claims 60 fights, yeah? So he claims he has 60 fights. And we only really know a handful of those fights and how he did it. But so the question is did he actually do that for all of them? Have these little, you know, different ways to do things? Did he turn up late to lots of them until somebody's really annoyed? Or turn up early and charge out from nowhere? What do you know? So don't forget, guys, if you're interested in samurai martial arts, get the Lost Samurai School. But now, remember, so now you've got to the end of the video, you can say, yes, Anthony, I'm going to click thumbs up because I believe Musashi was more of a strategic killer. Or you can say, no, I'm going to click thumbs down, Anthony, because I think he relied more on his swordsmanship. And that is what we're going to use the thumb up, thumb down for. Some people might just totally ignore that and give it a thumbs up because it's awesome, or thumbs down because they hate me. Let's check and find out. So there you go, guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.